Well, my new tires came in. This is not them. That's the knobby one that just took off. Here's what I put on. Nice little smooth thread tires. Ooh, I'm leaving the knobby on the back just because I am. I suppose I could use the extra traction at times. I really wanted the front done just to smooth out the ride. We'll tip this guy back up. There. So I've got 15 psi in the front tires, 16 in the back. I was going to do 50 and I got close enough. So we'll see how this handles noise and that kind of thing. That was my main concern, is just noise. And I get money back on my Discover card. It turns out both of these tires together cost me $2.48. So I couldn't go wrong. So I basically got free front tires. And they give you little plastic spoons to change it. Yeah, that's not going to work. I ended up using these things. These are 14-inch tire bars. That's what you need to change these tires. It was not an easy task, but I've had worse. Changing a car tire and changing these is about the same. Changing the tires on those things, those little 20-inch things, that is an absolute slam dunk. There is nothing easier than changing those. These, not so much. I'm winded after all that exertion. So we'll get this guy a test run here. It's raining. As soon as it quits raining, I'm going to take her out for a little spin and we'll see how it performs. I did have a real squeak in the seat. Squeak in the seat, that sounds like that's got a ring to it. I ended up tightening up some of the joints and oiling them and that kind of thing, so we got rid of the squeak. And I got another project. Let me go over yonder in the sink here. I picked up this fender at Sport Wheels just now, and I'm going to repaint it, and I'm going to put it on the rear of there. So when I drive in inclement materials, it will not splash all over the seat and all that. So I'm going to do the back wheel. The front, there's nothing I can do with those. I'll just live with that, I guess, but it seems to be fine. You know, I don't really look at getting rid of this thing or anything for any reason. I think it's an excellent machine, and it's exactly what I wanted, so I'm real happy with it. The Trident Trike over here, let me spin around. 20-inch wheels, those are 150s on the front. That's a 215 on the back. It's got the 250-watt motor on the back, and the battery holder there. There's no battery in it right now. But I've got a pair of these. And on this one, I added a 58-tooth chainring on the front to give it a little bit better gearing, and I added a roller to keep the chain slack from the chain from whipping around, and that's really working out pretty good. Pretty nice bike. I mean, it's basic. They're kind of bare minimum, but there again, it's got extra gusseting on the cross members and everything, so, you know, a good sturdy build. And I've got two of those, and they're both for sale. I think I'm asking $11.50 for them each, and I would let them both go as a pair for probably $2,200. But might wait till spring on that because it's late in the season. So I want to talk a little bit about some stuff I've done on this one. One thing I just recently did is I got this fender right here, which is a front fender from some kind of motorcycle. And it just happened to slide right in there, and I secured it with a couple of zip ties. And it sits in there really nice and sturdy. And I think that's going to do the trick to keep dirt and stuff from hitting the back of the seat here, keep everything a little bit cleaner. So I did that, and I got the saddlebags, which I had on my Sunseeker. Then moving up here, added this pad, which is just an inch thick. It's got some non-slip stuff on the back and a strap around it. Just a little extra pad there, which is pretty nice. That does a nice job. You know, this one does have the Variabus mid-drive motor, with a really nice display. I put this extra little T-mount here so I can get the display to sit up correctly and everything. One thing I kind of have to watch is the throttle's right here. And if I put my hands on here, I accidentally hit this plus thing, and I'll kick it up to 5 without really wanting to. So we'll talk about that when I take it for a test drive. But I think that's about it. I actually did put new brake pads, new rotors on the front. Oiled up the chain, got everything basically up to new standards. And it does have a tail light right here, which is right in the battery itself, which is really nice. And I got the battery power indicator right there. So, and the flags and all that. And I got a little pouch back here. I put some of my camera stuff in there. Got some reflective tape on this seat. All in all, I really like the bike. I mean, this is just an excellent machine. And I was just a little surprised at how flimsy the frame is. And as you can see, there's no gusseting, there's no cross members. It's just the tube. It is a 2-inch tube, but it's basically electrical conduit, strength. So you got that. But real comfortable bike, seat's good. No complaints with that. I can ride for hours and hours and never that's the nice thing about these Recumbent trikes, is they're stable. You can really corner with them. They're just a lot of fun to drive. And you can go hours and hours and hours, and it's just like getting out of a lawn chair. You don't get tired, you don't get sore. It's awesome. So the next step is to fire it up and take her down the road. And while I'm driving, I will go through what I think of all these additions I put on here. I have not ridden it with the new tires, so we'll see what kind of difference that brings about. Okay, first things first, the shifting does not seem to be changed much with the shift sensor. Pretty much shift the way it was before, because it still crashes when I try to upshift. Not so much downshift, but when you upshift it does if you're pedaling under pressure. And I think that's mainly because the motor shuts off just for a second, but it coasts for a little bit, so it's still exerting force. So I basically just shift the way I always do that, ease off on the pedals a little bit, shift, and then exert more pressure and that kind of thing. So I would say the shift sensor was kind of a null. It really didn't do anything good or bad. As far as the stabilizer, taking the hands off the bars, going over bumps like this, no bump steered, nothing. It really cleaned that up really nicely. And the other trikes I put the stabilizer on, it's done the same thing. So that was a big win. And the tires, of all the things, the tires, it is so smooth and so quiet. I can barely hear anything except the chain going through the guide tubes. And if I go fast enough, the back wheel starts to howl a little bit. But the mid-drive motor is absolutely quiet. The tires are quiet now. It seems to ride better. I don't know if it does or not. There's a little psychology involved. But it's good all the way around. I'm very pleased with the tires, and I think without my discount thing, it was like $30 for the pair. Well worth it. Well worth it. I would suggest doing that big time. So that's my rating here as far as the things I've changed.